When this child's mother first saw her son's severely deformed face, she wished he would die. A new journal entry by Robert Hodge painfully recounts how his mother became the mother of my mistake. Considered a dirty secret by everyone in the family, except my grandparents, who encouraged me to go on with life. Mrs. Hodge started out feeling rejected, but left the fate of her baby up to a family vote. Once his siblings gave their support, the family also embraced finding him to be home. And undergoing surgery was just the beginning for Robert. What follows is a candid account of self-acceptance and overcoming disability. Born in Brisbane, Australia in 1972. Robert Hodge was the fifth child of Mary and Vince Hodge, and before his arrival into the world, his parents had no reason to believe that their baby wouldn't follow in his siblings' footsteps and enter the world healthy and fully. Straight after the birth, however, Mary's first question was, "Is my baby okay?" Reflecting in her diary at the time, Mrs. Hodge noted, "The doctor kept asking me how I knew. My only reply was, how does any mother know when her child is in trouble? Instinct, perhaps, and her intuition proved to be." Commenting on his condition at birth. In a September 2016 essay for Good Housekeeping, Hodge matter-of-factly wrote, "I was born with a huge tumor in the center of my face in mangled legs. The tumor, a tennis ball-sized bulbous growth, pushed my eyes to the side of my head." Now, after a week of being separated from her newborn baby in the hospital, Hodge's mother reluctantly went to see him. However, it wasn't the maternal reunion it'd expect, and she rejected me. She decided then and there. She couldn't connect with this face. Hodge told the audience that his TDX, technology, entertainment and design, talk in February 2015. Much of Ho's insight into his mother's turmoil at the time has been gleaned from the diary. She camped, and it makes for difficult reading. Certainly, it can't have been easy for him to read statements on himself, such as "I wished he would go away" or "die" or something. "I told the hospital staff I didn't want my baby after seemingly being rejected by his mother. Then baby Ho remained in hospital while she returned." This separation lasted for at least 4 weeks, and Hodge would later acknowledge, "For the first month of my life, she was making every effort she could to not bring me home with 4 other children." To consider one of his mother's main reservations about bringing her baby home was the impact it would have on his siblings. And so she thought, if she's so worried about the impact bringing me home will have on my brothers and sisters, she better actually give them a bit of. And when faced with making a final decision about the fate of their new son, the parents called a family meeting that was proved pivotal, and they talked about my face and about my legs, and talked about whether they should bring me home. Yet Robert's siblings were unanimous in their decision, and they asked, "Should we bring Robert home?" And one by one, my brothers and sisters said yes, writing in her diary about the joint decision that was made. Mrs. Hodge stated, "Not one of the children hesitated. Each of them was quite definite that we should bring him home. Unlike me, their decision was without reserve." And Hodge, being embraced by his siblings, seemingly changed his mother's attitude with the support of her husband. Then focus shifted for the parents to the surgical options available back in the early 70s. Still, that choice wasn't going to be an easy road for any of the family. While still just an infant, then Hodge underwent surgery to remove the tumor from between his eyes. He was left with, in his own words, just a flat face and a couple of nostrils. "My eyes were still at the side of my head at 4 years old." Moreover, the young Hodge had his second surgery. This time, a reconstructive procedure performed by Dr. Leigh Atkinson, a specialist neurosurgeon. Speaking of the technique involved, host told ABC, Australia's Australian Story. "They took 2 of the toes from my right leg and the cartilage out of that and built a nose with his face, effectively rebuilt, and with the support of his family. Then Hush became resilient beyond his years at school. However, his differences put Seth apart from others, and he endured bullying. When recalling some of the names he was called at school, Hodge actually looks back with good humor. He has, however, admitted that taunts about his reconstructed nose hit hard. There were some low points he explained in a 2013 piece for writer Carly Finley's blog. "Well, luckily, I had a great family and a good set of buddies around me at 14. Meanwhile, Hodge had the option of cosmetic surgery, but a risk of blindness was high, unsure about the procedure. Then his parents allowed to decide for him. The teenager chose to stay as he was, however, and now credits his older brother with line that decision-making. What use is it being pretty if he can't even see himself? This self-acceptance, coupled with fierce determination, is probably what ultimately led to Hodge making such a success of his life. Indeed, he was the first person within his family to take a place at college, and he went on to get a job as a politician's spokesperson. Ho has taken to documenting his experiences in life too, learning from his mother's cathartic diary that there's an awful lot of power in writing things down. And as a result, he has since written a compelling memoir, one which he playfully entitled Ugly Ho, also went on to marry. Although finding out that his wife was pregnant caused him a lot of anxiety. But while he was worried that his daughter would inherit his deformities, his mother's own experiences of raising him assured him that he would cope with it. In the end, though, Hodge's first daughter, Imogen, was born perfectly healthy, and he has since remarried and had a second child, another daughter, Ava. As for his own success in life, Hodge credits his mom and dad for raising him with a can-do attitude despite his disabilities. "I can't repay to my parents the tremendous love and support they showed me, but what I can do is maybe share their story and maybe help some other parents." It would go on to tell ABC North Coast NSO in July 2014. It's clear that HO is a man on a mission to encourage difference as something to be celebrated then, and given that he's since shared his own inspiring story with adults and children alike, perhaps he's changing some minds in the process too.